I thought it'd be really fun to share with you my recipe for chocolate truffles because I think you're really going to like them. I've been making these truffles now and eating them for the last 12 years, and they're also a very popular request in my cooking classes, so I'm sure you're going to enjoy the recipe too. So let's crack on. You're going to need 3 different types of chocolate. And if you use these chocolates, but it is worth doing because you'll end up getting such an incredibly rich and lush chocolate. It's well worth doing. I've experimented with this recipe for a long time to come up with this. You need a 74% chocolate. By that I mean cocoa percentage, 81% cocoa and a 45% cocoa. All these chocolates come from Lidl. They're incredibly good value. That rocks in at £3, so you know it's for nothing. And that works out about 6p a truffle. This is a low-calorie recipe, believe it or not. Well, I think it is because there's no extra butter, no extra sugar, and no cream. And there's no biscuit or anything in there. Excuse me, my dogs are in the background. You're also going to need a bowl and a whisk because you're going to whip that chocolate to death. And the other thing you're going to need, worth investing in, are these silicone moulds which come from Lakeland. So let's get cracking. Here's some I've started on the stove already. I've done this in the, I've got a Thermomix, so which is kind of like a food processor, and the reason I do it in that is it just makes it cook quicker, so it will melt quicker, and then add 200 mils of water and let it do its thing. So I'm going to start stirring that in, and that should just melt in a couple of minutes. It'll be done. Never let the bowl come into contact with the boiling water underneath. You've got to be very careful with chocolate. It's quite delicate. I always put cold water in because if you add boiling water, you can make the chocolate go grainy and separate, which is when you get the milk. You can see the fat rising to the surface, so you don't want to do that. So it may take a little bit longer, but it just keeps things on the safe side, so that's what I'm going to do. Then you're also going to have a spatula, like this. I use these all the time. I love them. These are amazing. These came from the pound shop. I must have half a dozen of them now. I love them. The trick is when it starts to melt, you want to really beat the mixture hard, and that is what's going to give you the lovely soft whipped texture. Play around with the water. I like mine to be fudgy. You might want yours much firmer. I would say start at 200 mils or just under if you want a firmer set. But again, it's all down to how high the cocoa content is, because if it's a high cocoa content, you are definitely going to need more water in there. And now all I've got left to do is to fill these bad boys. So what I've done to make my life easier, whoops, not doing that very well, am I? Is I pour the mixture into the measuring jug, simply because I find the glass bowl very heavy, and this is much easier, and because it's got a pourer, I've got much more control. I'm just about done here now. I go around nice and slowly because the chocolate's hot. It's not going to go stiff and hard, because once it does that, it's very hard to work with. And now I'm just going to stick them in the fridge. So I've got a tray. I'm really lucky that I've got this tray that happens to come with my fridge, that's just the perfect shape for it to fit in. So it doesn't matter if you haven't got one of these, just stick them in the shelf. So I'm just going to stick the chocolates into the fridge on that shelf there, and leave them in there for a minimum of 2 to 3 hours until they're set. There they are. Let's get these bad boys out. Oh, look at those babies. I'm going to use the tray that they're in to turn them over and do the other side, because this side, you'll see when I get them out, will be slightly darker from where the air has got to them. It's a bit tricky doing this, holding the camera while I'm talking to you, but as you can see, They just pop out like that. Pop, pop, pop. There they go. Right, there's a perfect example. There's the darker side where they've been sitting exposed to the air. Here's the underside. Look at all the lovely air bubbles in them. And then, so I'm just going to let them firm up on this side, and then they'll be good to go. And there they are, all lined up and looking a treat. Don't worry if you haven't got one of these trays, a plate will do. So it's just time to stick them back in the oven, the fridge again, and I'll let them stay in here all day. And then we can eat them. Aww. So here they are, and in they go. I'm just going to stick them in this container because it's just a whole lot easier for me to get them, transport them from there into my glass jar. Oh, don't want to drop any. But there I go. Oh, there's one that got away. I have that one, haven't I? They are so good. This chocolate is really rich and satisfying. So the only thing I can compare it to is, you know, like if you eat Parmesan cheese and it's got a really intense cheesy taste. This is the same kind of thing, but in chocolate. So you don't need an awful lot to be satisfied. Anyway, cup of tea, and I'm out of here. I really hope you enjoyed watching this video, and I look forward to seeing you again soon.